Hey Tim, how's your day been?
Well, another day, another dozen issues, yes.
Yes,
That comment we had very early in the piece, and I said, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. Hasn't that come back to bite me?
it sure has. Now, we've got a full-page ad appearing in the Sydney Morning Herald tomorrow. What's that all about?
So that is making the argument that real estate is an essential industry. So I must send out a thank you to our friends at Domain who are paying for that. And they're going to run the ad again on Saturday. So I've also reached out to some of our good members out there in the regional areas and asked them if they could twist the arm of their local paper and see if they could get a run in it out there as well. I think it's a pretty easy argument to make as far as the paper's concerned, because if our industry gets shut down, then there's no more ads going in the paper. So you've only got to join the dots on that one.
Absolutely. And now we saw today that Parliament has been recalled in New South Wales for May 11 to revisit the conversation around landlords and tenants, because as we know, the landlords are not getting a great deal right now.
No, they're not. It's really interesting, isn't it, that there was, I think, a certain amount of political popularity by going out there and championing the rights of the tenant and the underdog and all the rest of it. Yeah. And then only to sort of discover that for every tenant, there's also a landlord, and they've done nothing wrong either, and shifting all the problems that the tenants got to the landlord. So finally, there has been, I think, some recognition of that, which is good. And I'm going to have some sympathy for the state government, because the federal government came out and said at one of their press releases, well, you won't be able to evict tenants.
Yeah.
You know, my work here is done. And, that was what a lot of people heard. And unfortunately, that ran through. And then obviously, as you know, we started to get some details about that tenants still had to pay the rent and all the rest of it. But that was certainly not in the strong narrative that came out.
No, the communication from the word go was pretty ordinary in that space, as we know, and it's caused a lot of grief for everybody. But anyway, so we know that the residential landlords, they will be having a look at that further, and to that end, we've got a fair bit of work to do to try and put some numbers around.
That's right.
Around that. So we will be coming out to the members asking for their assistance in providing information.
Absolutely.
And we will also give them some input as to how they can help us fight this battle. Yeah, so
absolutely.
that's coming.
It's a political one. But the interesting thing here, Leanne, I think, is that whatever they're going to recall Parliament, so that to me says there must be some sort of legislative change that's going to go on, because the minister has a series of powers, as you know, under the COVID emergency powers legislation, whatever it was. And the minister can make regulations without the need of Parliament. Yeah. So whatever's going to go on has to be legislative, and I'm assuming that must mean money.
Let's hope so. It'll be very interesting to see.
But it wouldn't be the first time my assumptions have been wrong.
No comment. And so there is we know that the JobKeeper subsidy is live right now. People need to be making that application. And to that end, Business Depot have got a real estate specific webinar on Thursday. I don't have the exact time of that, but we will get the team to email all of the members a link to that webinar, because I think it's definitely going to be a worthwhile one on Thursday.
Yes, I don't have an understanding of it, because I think there are the complexities around real estate are such because of the way the payments are made. It's not like a coffee shop where we shut the shop this afternoon and then we automatically had 100% drop in our revenue. Real estate's a lot more complicated.
It is, and then the whole debit, credit and commission-only payment structures come into play. But Business Depot have got a really good handle on it, so everybody can get clear on it on Thursday, and we'll let you know when. Right. Okay, a couple of things. We still haven't got the commercial code.
No, well, that's right. I mean, we have the code, but it hasn't been activated, so to speak.
Right. Okay.
And I've made a couple of inquiries over the last couple of days, asking where the regulation is, because we need the regulation to activate the code in New South Wales. So right here and right now, the code doesn't have any effect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
we're all in this rather strange place, and I don't know whether or not the code has been delayed because of, or the regulation to activate
Yes.
the code has been delayed because of Parliament being recalled in early May. I don't know that, but what the reality of it is, we haven't got it, and I've made some representations to say, please, can I have it, because the market's running around quite confused and without direction right now.
Yeah, it's difficult. We have got a commercial survey going out to our commercial chapter and commercial members at the end of the month. So we would encourage everybody, I know it's a bit of a pain in the neck to fill out these surveys, but we really need to have data to support anything that we're trying to achieve right now. So if you can help us out, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
A couple of good news stories. I saw the CoreLogic report that mentioned that the CMA activity is up just over 20% over the same time last week. Obviously, that's going to be up over low numbers. I get that, but it's good news that it's actually tracking that way. So that's that's great.
I was very surprised about that. I mean, as you say, it is good news. So yeah, I mean, bring it on. More good news.
Absolutely. And although we don't know how we're going to be able to celebrate the Awards for Excellence this year, that's sort of a watch this space conversation right now, but the nominations are open and we are actually getting a lot of people submitting nominations, right?
Yeah, which is great. It really is, that people, despite all of the troubles that we're all facing, people are taking the time out to participate in our awards, and you know, that was that's really good from where I sit. That was really good that people want to still dedicate some time to you know, participating in our awards. So it's our really gala night, and as you well know,
I've already got my frock and everything. I cannot believe it. Anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit worried about that. I told you next time you go shopping, I want to send an adult with you.
Oh, stop it! Don't be so rude. You love my fashion. Okay, so just some updates. The REI forms, I know we've had the advice from the lawyers. It's almost live. We're just waiting for some technology to be dealt with. So within 24 hours, that should be all done.
Yep.
And I know Nerid is busily working on a difficult negotiations training session. I can't imagine why you guys thought that would be necessary right now.
Yeah, so there's two things in that space Nerid is working on, and she's going to work on that immediately after she's finished with the mandatory CPD, which is just about done. So I was having sort of a difficult negotiation with Nerida about the difficult negotiation.
About the priorities.
Yeah, so that's going to be with us in about a week to 10 days, which is great. And the other thing that we're doing also, to stay with your line of humour, is that we are also going to have some training on how to go to NCAT, because there seems to me to be the possibility that a few people will get dragged down to NCAT during this little exercise. So if you can learn how to put your file together so that you've only got to push it forward, that to me also seems like a very good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea.
And the next thing on the list of training that because we've had to reinvent ourselves, Leanne, to be honest.
I know.
In this space. So the next bit of training we're looking at is being able to qualify your purchases, because in the 2 months ago you threw the front doors open and people came through. The neighbours came through because they were curious what their next door neighbour's house looked like. So they came through the open. Can't do that anymore. So we're trying to get some training organised for you to be able to qualify your purchases. So you're only taking that hour and a half out of your day to take somebody through the property that is not a tire kicker. So we're working on that as well. Yeah,
that all sounds like really good quality training. That's awesome. So a couple of other things that we've had to reinvent. The roadshow, obviously, we were literally in delivering the roadshow to 200 odd people in Castle Hill when the Prime Minister took to the microphone to say you can only have gatherings of no more than 100 people, and we literally had to stop the roadshow and split it up so that we had a small group. And we haven't been able to deliver any roadshows since. So we are organising a time in the next fortnight to actually film the roadshow content and hopefully combine that with mandatory CPD so people will be able to get all of their CPDs through that block of training, yeah?
Yeah, sorry, I'm smirking because it was a funny day, wasn't it? We
It was.
started out with only being able to have 500 people, and halfway through the presentation, ScoMo moved it down to 100 people.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we had to start moving people out of one room into another room. And yeah,
we had the
funny day.
People at the club counting numbers and locking people out. It was quite the performance. So we'll be back to people once we've got a definite filming date and all that sort of stuff. We'll let all the members know. And likewise, the Australasian Auctioneering Championships has also been thrown into chaos. I mean, that was meant to be in October. Maybe we'll still be able to have something in October. However, we don't know what travel restrictions are going to be like by then. So we're going to have to reinvent that. So that's another watch this space conversation. Right? Yeah. Anything else that you wanted to cover off?
Yeah, I had, as you know, about the landlord's insurance.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I've had another conversation with the Minister's office today.
Okay.
They've been very, very supportive, actually. They've been great. So the Minister's office rang me today and said that they were escalating this nationally, which is where I think the solution lies.
Needs to be.
Because New South Wales doesn't have a monopoly on this problem. No. So that's gone up to the Federal Minister for Housing, I think it is.
Oh, right.
So I think it probably rests there.
Yep.
And I also think that particular minister is also the Assistant Treasurer or Assistant Finance. I'm not quite sure, but it's certainly in the right portfolio. So hopefully we'll get some resolution there. Finally, on that topic, today we have prepared a document for the property manager to be able to send to the insurance company. So when the information comes in from the tenant, and we've also got another document there. So we've given the property managers a document, a base document where they can collect all of the information from the tenant. So we're saying, tenant, I need you to prove your case. So here's something to assist you. So all of that comes in. Yep. Then there's another document we've created that would then send that off to the landlord to get some instructions there. And then also with the information from the tenant, there's another document we've created, which is a letter to the insurer. The landlord's insurer, and it'll go off there with all of that information saying to the insurer, and it's going to have your policy number, the address, the landlord, etc. on there, going across and saying, here are the circumstances, what do you want me to do?
Okay, so has that been finalised, or are we still waiting for sign off on that? Have members got that
no,
yet?
it's done. I'm comfortable with it, and I think it is now available. But I have also sent it to Fair Trading, asking them if they would have some input into it as well. And I sent it also to the Minister's office, just as an FYI, because they may see some benefit in shooting that up to the Federal Minister as well.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, that all sounds good. A couple of things from me. If you've got any questions, please just put them into the comments section and we will come back to you with the answers. We've got a webinar at 10:30 on Friday morning with our very good friend John Cunningham. So any questions for in preparation for John, please just shoot those through. Anything else before we say goodbye, Tim?
No, that's it from me.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, I think that was enough for one day.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow. Take care.
You will. Same time.
Bye.
Bye.